Man, you know one of the worst feelings in the world is, especially as an adult, is having and feeling like you can't leave someone because you have an attachment to them. You know this person is not good for you. You know you should leave this person. You know this person make you unhappy. But you just can't fucking seem to leave this person. And it's like, what the fuck? I've been there. Um, I've been there. And that's because I was attached to that person. You know, a lot of people, they don't learn the difference between a connection and attachment. They're two different things. Connection gives you power. Attachment, it sucks the fucking life out of you, if we being real. Connection feels more mutual and uplifting, and attachment feels one-sided and draining. And I found myself in so many relationships where I was the one feeling like I was drained, feeling like I was the one giving more effort, feeling like I was the one loving more than the other person. And it's because I was attached. This shit comes from my childhood. It's unhealed trauma that I never healed through. It's my fault, you know? I mean, it's bad too. It was bad. It was bad. It was years. It was times where, you know, I go to the store, I go get some chapstick, I go get a lighter, and I had these, you know, a lighter. You keep that motherfucker for 2 months. I lose it. I'm freaking the fuck out. Oh my gosh, where's my lighter? Chapstick. Been using this bitch for 2 months. And I just lose it. Now I gotta take off work. I gotta call in and cancel all my plans. I gotta mourn the loss of this chapstick. I had a fucking attachment to it. Now, yeah, most people like, yeah, you could go buy a new one. Nah, you don't get it though. I had a fucking attachment to it. You know, I used to watch these show Hoarders and shit like that, and I'm not at that point, but I get it. Some shit you just can't let go. You don't want to let go. You know, and it came from my childhood, right? Going through the foster care system, I felt like, damn, if I could attach myself to this family and do what they're doing, they would adopt me. They would take me in. They would love me. They would care for me. So I would attach myself to anyone or anything. It was really survival. But that survival tactic, it followed me through my adult years, and I found myself in relationships where I was attached to the person, but there was no connection going on. I never really connected with the person. In my mind, I thought I did. It felt like it. We talked about things, but there was no connection. Because connection, again, it's uplifting. It helps you grow. It helps you become a better person. When you're connected, you grow together. When you're attached, you end up losing yourself trying to keep someone else close. And that's all I found myself doing. I didn't even know who I was anymore. Going all the way back to when I was, 4 or 5, trying to attach myself to a mom or a guardian or some type of family to take me in, to feel loved. That shit carried on to my relationships. And I'm not gonna lie. Looking back at it, it's disgraceful. Like, I wouldn't want to be with someone who was attached to me. I wanted someone to know their own worth. But I didn't know my own worth. That's all I knew. This shit come from survival. I mean, it was like I went and picked my cat up, and I went to probably 3-4 different places, and every time I went, the cats were fucking amazing. Just on their best behavior. And then they pull you in a room and they like, yeah. So this one right here got urinary tract infections. You know, they keep peeing outside their fucking litter box. This one right here, they overstimulated. They tend to bite. You know, they don't get along with people. And I'm just sitting there like, they so fucking cute though. But no, they was on their best behavior because they wanted to get put into a family. They get it. You know? Animals fucking get it. So I just found myself attaching myself to whatever and whoever I felt would love me. I would never build a connection though, and connection gets you so much further. Connection, it brings clarity, it brings peace, and a lot of people don't know what peace and clarity is. They never had it. I didn't know what clarity and peace was until 4 or 5 years ago. I was so involved with trauma, toxic ass interactions and drama and rumors, and that's all I knew. Because the people I attached myself to, that's all they knew. And had I built a connection, I would have realized, like, yo, I'm not connecting with these fucking people. I need to get out of here. And that's the reason why a lot of people stay with family, knowing that they're bad for them, because they have a attachment. If they had a connection, they would realize, like, yo, this shit is a disconnect. They're going this way, I'm going this way. They think this way, I think that way. When you are attached, you have no clarity. Attachment, it creates anxiety, it creates fear of losing someone. And that's all it is. You end up having anxiety and fearing that you will lose someone, opposed to, being you authentically. You end up losing yourself trying to please someone else. And connection, what it does is it lets you be yourself authentically. That's another thing a lot of people are not doing in these relationships. A lot of people, and I did this, I'm guilty. When I was young, I used to, go approach a girl. It was my false representative. I would be who I thought she wanted me to be. But then as time went on, it's like, she like, well, shit, why you don't open the door? Why you don't tell me I'm this anymore? Why you don't? And it's like, well, damn, like, I did that, And you don't want to be in a situation like that to where she's sitting there saying, you used to do this. Just be you. Just be your fucking self right up front. It gets you so much further, and I learned that later in life. Attachment, it makes you bend, it makes you shrink, and it makes you sacrifice way too much. And the sacrifices that you're making are not even benefiting you. That's the crazy part. When you stuck in attachment, the sacrifices that you make end up being for someone else. And you end up doing way too much for someone else. Most people are pretending to be someone else just to make someone else happy because they're stuck in attachment. Healthy connections, it empowers you to evolve. It helps you be better. Unhealthy attachments keeps you stuck in the same cycle. And if we're being real, this is why most relationships are toxic. This is why most people stay in fucking toxic relationships for 8, 9 years. And then they confuse this unhealthy cycle with loyalty. Thinking like, well, no, I've been loyal to this person. No, you are in an unhealthy cycle and you don't even know it. They taking you on an emotional fucking roller coaster. You have to choose people who add to your life. And not those who cling to you out of, loneliness and emptiness and habit. And if I'm being real, because that's what we do over here, I used to do that shit. I used to cling to people because of my attachment issues. I used to cling to whoever I can out of emptiness or loneliness. And wherever they went, I would go. Technically, I was in the passenger seat and they was in the driver's seat. And I will always be in the driver's seat of my life. So you want to get to a point to where you could connect with people, because connection helps you grow together. Get out of this attachment with people, because you end up taking shit on that it's not even yours. You don't have to do that because you're attached to someone. You end up doing way more than what you need to. Let me know in the comments how many of y'all have been in a relationship like this or know someone in a relationship. Send this video to someone who could use it and let me know in the comments. I love y'all. And I hope y'all have a blessed holiday coming up. Have a blessed day.